Hello everybody and welcome to the Tartar Zone. We're here for some Cobra Kai. As you know, we've done the first 3 episodes of season 1 and we are now going to follow that up with Cobra Kai Never Dies and the other 2 episodes that we will be doing. So I hope everybody is doing very well and looking forward to this. I just recently finished Series 4 yet again. So I've binge watched Cobra Kai 3 times in total, the whole seasons. I've done season 1 to 4 3 times and it gets better with every viewing. I have to say, one of the best shows, as I said, to me personally, that has been, that's around on TV right now at the moment. So it's nice to have you all on board. And as I said, we're going to be doing the next 3 episodes. So we stopped at episode 3. So the next one in line is Cobra Kai Never Dies. Then we've got Counterbalance, and then episode 6 we've got Quiver. And then next week we'll be only doing 2 episodes, the All Valley and Molding, because then the week after then we've got 2 more episodes for the series finale, Different But Same and Mercy. And that will be season 1 wrapped up. Then what we'll be doing then is for season 2, we will be looking for new panelists to come on and join us for series 2, mix it up a little bit. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring on our guests who are going to be joining us. I was supposed to do a couple of videos that I haven't gotten around to, but they've been pushed aside because I'll be doing another video tomorrow. I may not be covering the RTD era, is all I'm going to say. There's been something going on behind the scenes that I don't like, and I think I might just pull the plug on the whole lot, to be quite honest with you, because I'm not going to be told what to do. You know me. So yeah, might pull the plug on it, mightn't be covering it. Why should I, if I'm going to be told the stuff that I was told today? I'm not. So yeah, I might be done, folks. And I might have to rebrand my channel as well, because I'm not going to change who I am because there's a new regime in place. So yeah, I might have to do a rebrand, and I might have to remove or privatize all my videos. I'm done. I'm not going to be told what to think and who to have on my channel. I'm just being out straight about it. I don't judge anybody. I've never judged. I have friends on both sides of the argument, and you know, I've never given ultimatums to those people. But I've been given one, and to be quite honest with you, I'm not happy about it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna be done, folks. So I've sent. Actually, I just have to see if. Just give us a second. No, I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say it, and because you see, there's a thing called loyalty, and if I'm told not to say it, and I'd never expose my sources either. At the end of the day, I've been loyal to them. Um, I've kept my mouth shut when I've been told to keep my mouth shut, and I've put out information when I've been told to put out information. So I've been loyal. So no, I'll never, just because this is happening, I'll never go against the people that helped me out. Because the source information did help the channel out, but I'm not going to be held to ransom or ultimatums. Um, you know, so that's just where I stand on it all. Right. Over the Dunes 1979, I need your email address, so send it to me through Twitter, please. Right. I will have my camera on at some stages. I just don't have it on right now. Just getting organised. No, it's grand. I've basically been told if I don't get with the program and don't get on board, which is a lot of bull because I have been on board with RTD. But that's just the way it's gone, unfortunately. You know? I'll never compromise. I'm staying true to myself. I said this last week. You know, I shouldn't be put in this position because, you know, there are people out there that don't like people that I do either have on or I associate with. That's not fair. That's not fair. Right? That'd be like, right, Hitler did all those things, so let's go and find his family and punish them for what he did. Right? That's not how it works. Message you on Twitter, have a new address. Grant, I'll go in now. Just bear with me, my phone's a bit slow. And I better text the other fella as well to let him know that we've started. He was on. Right, hold on. Marty, if you want to come on, if you're a fan of Cobra Kai, you're more than welcome to come on. Message request. Oh, okay. You've right. Grand. I've got a message, but I need your email address now. So I've added you now, so you can give us your email address there now. Or do you want me to send a link to that actual account? Which is going to be awkward, but I'll try. Just bear with me. It'd be good if I actually linked the fucking thing for us, wouldn't it? You should watch it, Marty. It's a good show. I'm telling you, it'd be right down your alley. Obviously, if you watch the Karate Kid franchise, but you don't really need to watch the Karate Kid because it kind of goes back and shows you little snippets. So you don't really, I have to be honest, you don't really have to watch the Karate Kid franchise. But if you want to know more then I would suggest you watch the Karate Kid franchise, and then watch Cobra Kai. But you can watch Cobra Kai on its own because it's very good at explaining things. Right, I've sent you the link in the chat there, Scott. So work away there. I don't know what the story is with Leo. I just seen him on Twitter not too long ago. So I wonder. Wonder where he is. Because we're starting straight away because I'm missing a football match now. Manchester United are on, and I really wanted to watch that, but I wanted to keep the stream going, so we are here doing this. But I want to start this as soon as I can, so I can keep an eye on what's going on in the football world. Right, so that's one guest in. Right, I've sent them. Might speak with you off air when you're finished streaming. A few things have appeared recently, and I'm sure you know the story. If it's anything to do with the RTD I don't care. I don't, Marty. After today, I'm actually got a sour taste in my mouth. I don't even want to talk about it, you know. I actually really don't. I think I'm really seriously considering rebranding, because I'm not going to back down on the opinions, and if what I've been told is true, well then I'm being watched, and you know that's not a nice thing. I'm not going to give these people any excuse, so I'll rebrand if I have to. Get rid of the Zone name. I don't want to, but if I have to, I will. But I'm not going to stop and compromise my opinions because, you know, that's just who I am. It's just who I am. As I said, I'd never compromise. You know, I'm not like Mr. Cardis and other people out there that shield to get interviews. That's not me. I'll stay true to myself. Right, well, we're just waiting on, I don't know what the story is with, oh, he's just remembered now. So he said, give him a second. So we'll give him a second. He forgot all about it. See, he's probably lost track of all time. Anyway, we are here. The next episode in line is Cobra Kai Never Dies. So if you guys in the chat that are waiting for us to start, if you guys can get your episode ready to go, and then in the chat press 1 and let me know when you are actually ready, and then we can as soon as we bring on our 2 guests, we can start straight away and get this show on the road. I actually had Cobra Kai set up. What's going on here now with this? So I'm watching Cobra Kai on my phone because the site that I use won't work on my PlayStation properly. Like it should, but it's not working properly. So I have to watch on my phone. But as I said, I've been binge watching this whole series again, and it's just brilliant. So just getting set up here. We got the 2 guests on. Just let this buff out. Because as I said, as soon as I get my guests on, I want to start straight away. So let's bring on our guests. We got the one and only Mr. The Queen when the other Queen is not here. It's the one and only Problem Big.
Hey, oh, sorry about that. I got into a bit of a your mic's not working.
What do you mean it's not working?
It's not working. It sounds like you're in the toilet next door or something.
I don't. Did this camera do this thing again?
Yeah.
Yeah, it fucking did. I literally have it set on the default for the bloody.
Can you hear me now? Is
Yeah,
that better?
that's better. No one told you in the comments. What's the matter, people?
Everybody's saying that, and today everybody is very quiet tonight. But there you go.
Yeah.
Let's bring on our next guest, and he said he's not drinking this week, which didn't bother me really. It's just like when this show is so good that sometimes there is periods where me and Lee won't talk. So good. But it's nice to welcome him back. It's Scott.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Nice to have you back. So as I said,
Soft drinks. So don't worry.
you're off the alcohol now for a while, are you?
Well, I'm off it today.
Yeah, you try. I know. There's nothing wrong with having an old drink, mate. Nothing wrong with that at all. Right. Anyway, as I said, the next episode on the list is Cobra Kai Never Dies, folks. So that's episode 4 because we did the first 3. So we'll do another 3 tonight. And then after we finish the 3, we will give them each a rating and we'll give our opinions about what we just watched. So yes, your voice doesn't sound sexy today. Well, it should now, Marty. I've got the thanks to Lee, but I wouldn't even mind. I checked all of this before we came on live, and everything was working perfect. It must have just changed as we were coming on. Melina is not happy with me because she said I should have told her sooner. But in fairness, I did say we were starting Cobra Kai. I didn't know you were going to be in work when we were doing it. If I had known, I would have changed it around. But if you're available now, you can come on and watch the next 3 episodes with us because I'm pretty sure you've watched the whole lot anyway. So, you know, you could still contribute because I know you've watched. So if you want to come on, Melina, let me know before we start because we're
get your ass on air.
If you want to come on, let me know and we'll bring you on. We'll bring you on. I'll get Lee to send you the link because it'll be faster. Because he's like Speedy Gonzalez. He can just woo. Whereas
I'll do it now.
Do it now, yeah. Right, I'm going to turn on the camera now in a minute. I've
got a response. Oh, sorry, Melina. I've been so bad with my phone.
Yeah, you've been kind of not being online, which is probably done you the world of good anyway. To have.
I tell you what, I've become addicted to watching this channel.
Mr. Ballin.
Mr. Ballin, Ballin, whatever.
Ballin.
Oh my god,
yeah. He's brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah, I can't. I think I spent the whole weekend just watching his.
Well, here, check out this one. She's similar. Her name is Christina Randall. She has a channel as well, and she does those type of stories as well. She's very good.
Oh, you'll have to send me a link.
Cheryl introduced her to me. And it helps that she's actually not bad looking to look at. So that was the first thing Cheryl actually said to me. What do you think of her? Do you think she's nice? Is this a trap?
Sacrificed on the altar.
Melina, are you coming on, love? There's no. Just tell us yes or no in the chat. So, because if you're not coming on, I'd like to get started. I'm just having me cup of coffee and an old ciggy before we start. You know, you can't smoke on camera, so as you
I am, but in 20 minutes.
Oh, right. Well, you'll miss Cobra Kai Never Dies then. So if you want to watch it in the background while you're doing whatever you're doing, and then you can join us for the next episode. So Lee has sent you a link anyway. If you want to stay backstage, I won't bring you on. If you want to stay backstage, so I know you're coming on, then you can. I'm at the bank. I'll be home in 10 minutes. Grant. Well, we'll go, and then you can jump in because you know.
Yeah, we'll give you a time.
We'll give you a timestamp, yeah, because I'll be able to give you a timestamp this time. Right, so camera on. Hello. There you go. I've got me Cobra Kai background. Strike first, strike hard, and no fucking mercy.
Becking mercy.
No mercy. Right,
Becking mercy.
is everybody in the chat ready? Please press 1. Remember, it's Cobra Kai Never Dies. This episode is 26 minutes. Well, it's not actually 26 minutes because I've noticed this with Netflix, right? It'll say 26 minutes 45, but it'll probably end in 23. And then you've got the credits rolling. So they're about 20 minutes each episode. So if everybody in the chat is ready, as I said, please press 1. There's not many people in the chat now tonight. I have to say, it's midweek. I don't know, but I think it's safe to go, lads, isn't it? I think we'll just go because, Right, Lee. You know what to do, mate.
All right. Right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey!
And we're off. And we got the Netflix logo there, and yeah. Now, have I got the... No, I don't even have the earphone in. I'm an idiot. Ha ha. Here we go. Oh, this is the fella with the laptop. This scene is fucking funny. Robbie
was looking fucking buff in the last series, I have to say.
Yeah, did you see when he took off? Yeah, I know. When he was fighting Hawk in that fight, which we won't say what the result was, but when his uniform, his gi came apart, he just rips it off, and you just see his muscles. Like, I have to say, fair play to the kids in this, man.
Well, he's not a kid anymore, that's for sure.
Well, no, they're all in their 20s now.
Well, I think he's
strange.
Yeah, he's about 24 or something, isn't it?
You're not a kid anymore. Sorry, Bobby's girl. Jesus.
$400 for a computer. I love when he finds the poster. I love the music, man.
Yeah, nice riff.
But you see, this is the whole thing, right? When companies give people what they want, fans what they want, there's no complaining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was me last week.
Ah, there's Johnny. Well, it wasn't his fault. I love Miguel. I know, yeah. This is brilliant, man. It's something that Johnny would do, but it is something Johnny would do, like, so.
He's man in it. He does drunk really well.
He does. I know people are giving out about his character development and the way he's turned out, but I mean, he's co-producer himself, so he would have had a say in which way his character was going to go. And it's believable anyway that he did lose the plot after he lost the second fight against Daniel.
How can you have a path to redemption if you don't show that path? You know, if you don't have a progression, you need that development.
I have to say, this kid here, right, the kid that plays his son, Jesus Christ, he takes a stretch and fucking has lost an awful lot of weight.
Yeah.
Completely different chap altogether. I thought it was a different actor, and then I looked, it's the same fucking young fella. I was like, what the hell happened to him over the summer?
I know, it's like, you know, prepubescent and fat, and then like the last season, like puberty went poof, and he's like lost all the weight. It's like, what?
I reckon
happened?
he's gonna.
You know, his voice had gone down an octave. It's like, what's going on?
He's definitely gonna have more to do in Series 5. Johnny is obviously gonna be off to Mexico. So we're gonna probably see. This is the thing. I don't think Johnny Lawrence is gonna be, unless the whole Mexican thing happens over 2 episodes or whatever. I see him and Miguel having to deal with shit in Mexico while Daniel and Chosen actually take on Cobra Kai. Now, I could be wrong, but that's the way it seems it's gonna go. And I reckon the son, when he picked up that scroll, I reckon he's gonna screw his dad over. I really do. I can't wait to actually
realize.
Yeah,
he's gonna realize what he's not missing anything probably.
So Miguel is actually going out in real life. The actor that plays Miguel is actually going out with the free-spirited girl, the one that was with Hawk first, and then she ended up with a girl. Yeah, they're with each other in real life.
Oh, that's nice.
Interesting.
Oh, I love her. I love the grandmother.
Oh, the grandmother is brilliant in this. She's the one that makes the mother realize as well, though, that, you know, it's not the cratty.
She's so good.
Oh, God. Yeah.
He's a great man.
But he is a great man. It's just he's been.
Well, he sees it, and it's how he activates that in him. You know, just makes him believe that he's worth changing his life.
He does try to change, but I think the people that are moaning saying, "Oh, they got Daniel and Johnny to work together, then they just took it away from us." Well, yeah. Look at the past that they've had. Like, they weren't just going to seamlessly walk together. There was always
I like that back and forth.
Yeah, same.
It's what keeps the drama going. Because if you don't have that, you don't have drama.
Well, in fairness, though, I hope it's not. It doesn't continue on now. I hope eventually they do.
No, I think enough time has passed, because you know you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And then you have to create drama elsewhere. You know.
Yeah. And
I mean, I think they will always have a complex relationship anyway.
They will, but you could say there were moments where the two of them, they're so alike. The two of them know that they're alike, and they do like each other. You could tell that they do. It's just the past that they had, and you know they do come to the realization. Look, it's Irish bullshit shouldn't affect the kids. Basically, you know, she's badass. I love this girl.
Oh, yeah, I love her. I love her.
Yeah.
She's brilliant.
She's really, really nasty.
High school apparently is like that. Cheryl was telling me it can be very...
Yeah, I wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes. I mean, it's hard enough in a British school, let alone an American high school. Bloody hell. It's like a nightmare. Look at that stupid hair. Gosh,
Yeah.
I love tragic shit.
I love tragic shit. I know, yeah. That's typical of a bloke that's just interested in one thing.
Yeah.
Which he is only interested in one thing, but...
God, this character, he's such a dick.
He is a dick. He is, and yeah.
And he remains a dick. I mean, he's either going to get his comeuppance or he's going to finally turn into a decent person.
You ordered 100 sausages. Oh, I love it.
Oh dear, oh dear.
And the rival Cole, he's a dickhead, isn't he, man? Like, Daniel might come across as a dickhead sometimes, which he does in this, which I'm glad they actually show, because Daniel isn't perfect, you know? Neither is Johnny. But
Well, I think it's good to show that, you know, the idealism of youth, and you know, this heroic arc, and then later he sells himself out, but then he has to regain what he lost and realize, what have I become? You know, like, you know, I've sacrificed
that's
my
what
integrity.
I mean, he really, that's what I mean. There's a lot of all these characters are like onions. They've got different layers to them. They're not perfect, but you know, there are a few moments in it where Daniel does get it wrong. You know, and there are a few moments where Johnny gets it wrong. But then, at the same time, you can understand the motivation. But then, they realize that they've done the wrong thing and they try to quickly correct it, which is great. Same with Series 4, which we won't give spoilers away. But when eventually they decide to put their differences aside, and I thought, good, that's what I want to see. But want to see more of that now in Series 5, because I think the two of them will eventually need to start working together, because Cobra Kai ain't going anywhere. And Terry Silver, oh my God, let's just say he's the meanest man in this whole bleeding show. I thought John Kreese was, but John Kreese let a fucking cat out of the bag, and he can't control it now. And look what happened to him. Won't give Anton away, but look what happened to John Kreese at the end of Series 4. You know?
I mean, we've gone from sociopath to like psychopath.
Well, you see, that's what I mean. He let the snake out of the bag. He thought he could control Terry, but little did we know that Terry. Well, we did know from the Karate Kid movies that he was a psychopath. So it backfired on John. I think John Kreese might get a redemption arc, to be quite honest with you.
I think that's where it's headed. You know, he might end up sacrificing himself or something.
I don't really care.
I think eventually it's going to have to lead to, it's too late for me. I'm too old to change, but I'll do the right thing in the last.
Well, you could actually see though in Series 4 that last fight where he tells your woman, "Do what you want. You've worked hard to get here." And then I thought,
definitely.
Then I said, "Holy shit! Is he actually changing his approach?" Because it was after the conversation he had with Johnny in the hall, and I was like, "Oh my God, Johnny has actually gotten through to him." And Terry was right. Terry was right all along. His weakness is Johnny Lawrence. Always has been and always will be.
Yeah.
And he played him. And by God, that Series 4 ended without giving that away. I put up a poll and people were saying Series 1, 2 were better. And I'm like, are you for real? The season ending? Season 4's ending is probably... it is the best one. It is. I didn't see that coming, man. Jesus Christ. Invisibility. I love Dimitri.
Yeah.
And by the way, someone did say, I don't know if it was you, Lee, or whoever it was, but or I heard someone say that the relationship between Dimitri and your woman isn't believable. I'm sorry, but I'd have to disagree with that.
That was me.
Because I was a geeky, I'm a geeky bloke, and look at the woman I was able to bag. You know, she's a stunner. This woman had a photograph taken with Clint Eastwood, and she's mine.
So
it is possible. So for all you nerds out there, that thinking that there's no hope for you, there is. But what a scumbag. I hate him. I love when his mate finally gets beaten up and then Hawk just looks at him and he backs down.
The casting in this show is sublime.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, you couldn't get any more perfect casting than this.
No.
They love the show, though. You could tell they've been doing a lot of interviews. They've been showing a lot of the behind the scenes footage. The cast all seem to get on. The kids all seem to get on with each other, and the adults all seem to get on with each other. And you can tell that they're passionate about this. And that's why we watch.
Also talented. I mean, not only are they brilliant actors, they're obviously really good athletes. They've taken it really seriously, and it works. Absolutely committed.
We have, of course.
Yeah, right.
Daniel's wife reminds me of someone. I can never put my finger on who it is. Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen her in that before, though. This is the first time I've seen her in stuff, and she's a good actress.
Yeah. Bonsai trees.
Oh, this. If this was a real ad for a car dealership, right? There's no way I'd be buying a car off this twat. Patriot Tom Cole here. What the feck?
Talk about bad cause.
Great American deals. Jesus Christ. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, for God's sake. I definitely wouldn't be buying a car off him. We won't be using yous anyway, guys, so you can get that feck out of my office. Oh, this scene is funny. Johnny though is... I just love how Johnny is straightforward, right? Hasn't got a clue about pronouns, hashtags, right? Hasn't got a clue how to work a computer, because it reminds me of me. But I do love this scene. If you buy her dessert, she'll give you dessert, basically. I would say, you know what I mean. In fairness, right? Fair enough. He did stuff, obviously, and he tells the story later on, right? He was young, foolish, and he ran off, right? Fair enough. There's no getting around that. But for her to judge him when she's literally in a pub getting pissed, being bought oysters, and then she's just gonna basically sleep with your man, like, so she can find a new daddy. Like, you're not a fucking, yeah, exactly.
Adult relationships are complicated.
Yeah, but right, even if you did give up day one, what the fuck is she doing? She's in a pub, she's getting drunk, and she's sleeping with strange men. You know what I mean? I know her character kind of changes then later on, but right now, she has no right to be kind of having a go at him when she's there drinking and having sex with strangers, like, and then brings them back to the gaff when the poor child is there. Oh, isn't this the first time where Daniel actually does a bit of proper woohoo? This is the same. Every time Daniel or Johnny squared up to each other, right? I got goosebumps, but they're so good that it never really comes to full blown, all out fight. Do you get me? They build it up. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who would buy a car off that guy? Look at the stadium. Walking about with that bloody drink and that straw. Come on.
I'm not really a cry guy. Well, you should be. You could tell that Daniel wants to explode and how hard it is for him to keep it in balance. But then when Cole says this line here, then that's when I would have punched him in the face. And by the way, I'm talking in a TV show metaphorically, and I don't mean I'd actually go and punch someone in the face. Just want to make that clear for any idiots out there that actually take that serious. Here we go. Whoa! I loved it. Well done, Danny. Danielson. Well done.
Man, that dialogue in that movie sounds pretty lame.
Yeah, they're probably watching one of those chick flicks. You know,
Teen
don't get me
movies.
wrong. There are some chick flicks out there that are actually decent, but the majority of them are just shy.
They're by the numbers, really. Let's be honest.
You got caught out because, you know, if you were less of a douche.
Dearie me. Yeah, quite right.
That's it. That's it, love. You told him to stop. He didn't. Beat the shit out of him.
That's it.
That's it. And just a lesson to all you blokes out there and women out there. No means no. All right? Doesn't mean you keep doing what you're doing. No means feckin' no. And if you don't, you get what he got. Simple as that. Oh, look at this. They always do these Americans when they do TV shows or movies. They always like to do the dad and the son with ice cream. That doesn't happen in Ireland. I don't think fathers and sons have that relationship in Europe, that sort of relationship.
Some of them do, some of them don't. It depends what country they come from, how traditionally family orientated they are and stuff like that. But I think on these islands that we inhabit, I think it's all went down the Swanee. You know what I mean? Damn that phone.
I love this.
Oh,
I know. There's some great moments in this, really. And
yeah.
you just want. I never thought I'd watch this show and I'd want Johnny to have a better life and to do, to not be shit all over.
And the thing is, as well, he does fuck up.
Yeah,
But,
everybody does.
But that's the real human, human
Yeah.
experience,
Exactly. We don't always get things right. We do all get things wrong sometimes. But you learn from your mistakes, though. That's the thing, and that's what they do in this show. They learn from their mistakes.
Life is messy.
Oh, here he is. Here's the kid. Jesus Christ, kid. I have to say, fair play to you. I don't know what happened, whether you took a stretch or whether you're going to be doing... I think that's what it is. I think he's going to be a lot more active in Series 5. He'll probably take up some karate and he'll probably join, but I don't think he'll join Miyagi, though.
Well, I don't know if he's going to go to Cobra Kai for some obvious
He definitely.
reasons.
I don't know though, because he had that Cobra Kai jumper, and I know he said he was only holding it for a kid, but he stole that. Maybe he might, which I don't kind of want them to do, because we already had that thing with Robbie Keane. You don't need another son now being roped in. Like, that's repeating the same storyline. I'd love him to join Eagle Fang, actually, because then that will cause more friction between, even though they did have their moment of clarity in Series 4, I think that would start it up again if he joined the Eagle Fang, which I still think is a stupid name for a dojo. That's the one thing I don't actually like about this, is when the producers and whoever was coming up with the name thought Eagle Fang was a good name for a dojo. It's shit. Like, he's got to come up with a better name than Eagle Fang. You could have called it Eagle Karate or something.
I think it kind of works as a name though, because
It's offense.
The ridiculousness of the name Eagle Fang and the complete impossibility of it being.
I know, but you know, look.
It kind of sums Johnny up as somebody that would put something together that would make no bloody sense to anybody except him in his head, you know, and then it wouldn't work.
My favourite episode of the whole series so far is the one where Danielson goes to Japan.
All right.
And he talks to Chosen, and then we get to see the Miyagi-Do that Mr. Miyagi didn't teach him. I can't wait to see Series 5, because I'm delighted. He came out of retirement. Listen, right, I'm just going to say this. Several actors and actresses that have starred in this show have come out of retirement to do this. They haven't acted in years, and they've come out of retirement to do it. That tells you all you need to know. If you've got actors and actresses coming out of retirement, well, then that tells you that this has to be good in their eyes.
We're pausing just now.
I'm going to load Counterbalance, but if you want to pause it for a second to give everybody a chance to get their copy ready, then yes.
Where's Melina? Melina, if you're out there, get on here, love.
Yeah, because we're gonna start. No, well, we're not gonna start right now. So why did you do that? Don't be doing that. You do that again, and I'll kill your phone. Right, so we'll see if Melina will give her 2 minutes there. We'll give her 2 minutes, and we'll see what the story is, and then we will get going on the next episode, which is what did I say it was? Counterbalance, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Counterbalance, which is a funny one. But yeah, I mean, look, every character in this goes through a journey. I mean, Hawk is a bit of an asshole, but then you feel sorry for some of the shit. But then he does stuff in it, and you're kind of like, that's unforgivable. But then shit happens to him, and then you're kind of like, I feel sorry for Hawk. See, this is what's good about this show. 1 week, you'll think a character's a complete asshole, right? But then next week, then you're backing them, and you're hoping that they
it's got heart.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's the level of pathos. This is something that a lot of modern Hollywood and BBC writers are failing to grasp. You know, everything's so a facsimile of the human experience. But if you understand, like the writers of Cobra Kai or someone like RTD, understands the human condition, can draw out that pathos and
Exactly.
and make people feel something for these characters, rather than here's my representation, here's my diversity, but I'm going to write them as facsimiles of human beings rather than actual human beings with depth. Like, this is the thing, you know, they draw it out, their characters, they work their characters hard, they make their lives hard. And it's nothing's given to them. Yeah, everything has to be earned, and that's something we just don't see anymore, frankly. In so much, like in Doctor Who, for example, just none of that anymore. It's none of that. It's everything's just so skin deep. Yeah.
I think one of the things is an awful lot of things now. People are self-inserting certain things about their own personalities or whatever, or their own experiences into TV shows, etc. Now, I dare say some of that's happened in Cobra Kai, but what these writers are doing is they're actually taking aspects of experiences that individuals might have had at some point, and then they're going into actually saying, well, there's actually more to this than what you think, and that's how you become enthralled with the characterization and the journeys each character goes on back and forth, and why it's so compelling as a series. I don't think that an awful lot of TV grabs me today the way this does, and that's why I really, really enjoy it. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. I don't know what's going on there now.
What
Do
happened
you
to
think
people?
will we just go on to the next episode and we'll just give her a timestamp when she comes in?
Sure, whatever.
Right, Lee.
Yeah, okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey!
So the next episode is Counterbalance for anybody that's joined us late. The next episode is Counterbalance. That would be episode 5 now. This whole sequence is brilliant. Love it. Love it. Miguel up at 6 o'clock in the morning training.
I'm loving this tune.
Same. How Johnny trains Miguel though, man, and how he gets away with it. And then he does the same thing to Daniel. No tapping it great. He's joking him out. Oh. I love it. Oh, elbow into the fucking nose.
Gotta love a montage.
Oh, the montages in this are brilliant.
Oh!
Doesn't one of the balls hit him in the fucking the side of the ear and there's a big bruise on it? And he just goes, Johnny just goes, oh, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
God.
I did love, though, that they showed the aspect of how Daniel trains his students. Johnny trains Miguel and the other students. Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
An excuse because he took him down and he didn't like it, so he just said, look at this, he's here. Just don't be a baby. That's typical of our generation, though. Don't be a pussy. Don't be a baby, you know? Johnny represents us. We need to change the NFL box. Could you imagine, man?
Center your energy.
Miguel's face is just priceless. He's like, what the fuck is going on here? And Johnny is like, oh, holy shit, what have I done? Probably join in yoga. You know? I have to be honest though, the excuse of why he was kicked out of this place is so fucking funny. Because he has a point. fuck's sake.
He's so grim.
I mean, that's a very expensive. Being honest, guys, as a chef, I could tell you is now very expensive place to eat in.
I've never
Very
eaten lobster.
expensive. You'd be probably looking at around $200 a plate.
My word.
Lobster alone is very expensive. Well, I don't know if it still is now. I don't know how fish is doing in price wise now, but
It's expensive.
it was getting cheaper, but I think it's gone expensive again. Yeah,
Yeah, salmon's gone up
yeah,
considerably.
I know. Yeah, I do love salmon myself though, and rainbow trout. Oh man.
People just down the road for me can go and pick up lobsters quite easily. They just go and catch them all.
Well, that's it, man. You're better off catching your own, though. I mean, like, nothing's stopping you. Once you have a fishing license, you know, you can catch your own. I was, before this pandemic started, I was actually going to get me fishing license. And I had a place where I was going to buy me fishing, because I used to fish with my uncle years ago. We used to go to the Blessington Lake. That's a place here. And fish there. He's went to the Shannon a few times as well. You know, I love fishing. I love catching a fish and then, you know, eating it. And I'd eat it there because, you know, it's a bit weird. You bring your own frying pan. You literally cook your fish on the beach. That's what I used to do. Fucking lovely. Get as fresh as possible. Smack the fish off a rock. Chop its head off. Gut
Right.
gut the thing and then fucking put it on the frying pan. I know. I seen a poster, and I was literally sick, because if this happened in Ireland, I would be sick. So $15 for rashers, bacon in the US. Someone put up a picture. $15 for 8 rashers. So we for 6 rashers over here. It's €2. €2.
Mm.
We got Tim in the chat as well. Chris has joined us, and Peter. Chris says he was late, but doesn't matter, mate. You're here. You know, I know you do be busy and you've got other things to do as well, so don't worry about it. Avon lives, says.
Avon lives.
Quite right too.
Cobra Kai karate. I just love how he's just like, yeah, you know why we do this? To inflict pain.
Dearie me.
Oh, what a sexist pig! But I mean, look, he's not going to change his way of thinking because the world's. But he does. That's the thing. He says that, and then he's kind of like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
Jeez, oh.
That's it. That's it.
I really like this girl. I think she's excellent in the role.
Yeah.
Oh, she's brilliant. I want to see her back though, because obviously she wasn't.
Well, she only yeah, well, you can't talk too much about it.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
You and me. It's like a less well-functioning drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket running around at this point, isn't it?
Mm.
The one thing I do like about this show, though, it does highlight cyberbullying,
Mm-hmm.
and it shows how it's mishandled actually in this show. I mean, that's what we've gotten, Lee. Told to get, we're ugly, told to kill ourselves, we're evil, we're bigots, we're this, that, and the other, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's by people who think that way about themselves, so they just project it rather than, you know.
I'm thinking of going back into karate because of this show. To keep myself fit, you know, because I kind of let myself go during the pandemic, as you can all see, which I don't really care. People slag me about it, happens. But yeah, I'm thinking of going back into it, starting from scratch,
Why not?
get fit again.
They're onto these plastic cups, aren't they?
He almost chokes. Jesus, the way you eat a fucking lobster and you're complaining about a straw, mate. I didn't like what Daniel did here, though. I have to admit, I thought it was.
Well, yeah, exactly. Early days, you know, that's him being a sellout, and then he hasn't realised it.
Yeah. But you can understand that because of his history with Johnny. But Johnny is trying to show that
he's seen what's happened. He doesn't understand why Johnny's done what he's done.
Yeah. And even Johnny himself then makes mistakes because, I mean, he brings back John Kreese and look how that turned out. So the two of them have made mistakes, and Daniel pulls him up about that. Why would you bring him back in and stuff?
Yeah.
Mean Girls again.
So that's the girl that Miguel, man, that plays Miguel is with. Not the blonde one, but the other one that was smoking the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
So they're with each other in real life. You should see the photographs they have up of each other and all. It's cute, young love. Whether it lasts or not now is another thing, but they look so happy together. So
that's nice.
I think they're lucky they don't work for Disney. I thought kids that go into Disney end up, a bit messed up.
I agree. Right, I can hear
we thought you were a poor person.
Coming through. If you could just turn it down a smidge. We got away with the Doctor Who one, but just turn it down a little smidge so we don't hear them talking. I don't know who it is, but it's definitely one of you guys.
Yeah.
No, mine is not making any noise. Don't think.
Sometimes it might bleed through, right? That's all I'm saying. It's grand. You know, I'm not giving out. It's just, you know what YouTube's like. Fucking assholes. You always target me. Well, I mean, why should she say sorry? She didn't do what she was accused of doing.
Well, again, that's her arc, isn't it? You know, getting, breaking out from the superficial and getting her confidence.
Well, not only that, I mean, if you look at all the controversy in this show, right? I mean, it's all her fault anyway. I mean, Sam is the big. She's the one that's responsible for the whole thing exploding because of what she does later on, which we won't say. But I mean, she's the one that makes it worse, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, she's been responsible for a lot of. But again,
she's a teenager.
A complex female character. She's not
She has her
perfect.
flaws.
The males are not perfect,
Exactly.
and that's like real life, you know.
Oh, this, when I first seen this, I actually gasped. I was like,
Yeah.
the girl is gonna.
Aye.
Here we go. Oh!
What? He's like, yeah.
And then look at Johnny's face. He's so proud. Because that's a Cobra. I love it. She is brilliant. She's one of my favorite characters in it. Yeah. Psychic Beats, thanks for that. But I did speak about David Tennant on this channel months ago. But as I said, I might be moving away from all that stuff. I haven't made a final decision, but I may not cover the RTD era. So see, this is what I'm talking about, right? Like, she's there giving Johnny loads, and there she is bringing another strange bloke back to the bleeding gaff. And her son is there, like what kind of responsible? She literally fell on the floor there. Well, you got to think of it from his point of view. 17, 18-year-old kid sees his mother acting like that. That's going to seriously mess up a kid.
Yeah, she's fucked up.
Oh, this is funny, man. This box of trash all the way through the series. Well worn.
Oh dear.
It's not even a Nintendo.
I
love the fact that I love the fact that he didn't know the difference between a Nintendo and a Ferrari. A Nintendo and Atari, sorry. A Ferrari. Do you hear me? Fuck's sake, no. And I thought here he was actually going to get money, right? But then your man's reaction is just...
Good grief.
Yeah, I will be doing a couple of videos during the week where I will be talking about stuff that's being talked about. I was supposed to do them, but I've been dealing with other stuff backstage, if that's the way you want to put it. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff. So I will get to it, don't worry.
It's heartbreaking when you are so desperate you have to sell off things that mean things to you.
I had to do that myself. Listen, I had a DVD collection with over 5,000 DVDs.
Yeah,
and I sold them.
I used to have 5,000 CDs, and I had to get rid of so many.
Yeah, I went to CEX, got 30 cents for each fucking DVD, even special editions. I was gutted. I was gutted the amount of money.
Same with vinyl. Yeah.
And then the next day, I go back to the same shop. And I see me DVDs and they're charging bleeding 20 quid and they give me 30 fucking cents for it. CEX are one of the biggest con artists, them and GameStop. Biggest con artists out there. I'm not saying you should at least get half the money for a pre-owned game or anything like that, but at least give them a decent fucking price, for God's sake.
Yeah, it's outrageous.
It is. But here's the thing that doesn't make sense. If you don't take the cash off them straight away, but you ask for store credit instead, you get more, which makes no sense. But look, the company came along, that was their model, and people did buy, including myself. So I suppose we've only got ourselves to blame because we use these places. But that's because HMV and all these other stores like Golden Discs and all closed down because nobody was buying physical copies at the time. Because remember, everything was being digitized. Now everybody realizes that they've made a mistake, and now everybody is encouraging people to buy physical copies. Sure, we've been doing that for the last 2-3 years, telling people to buy physical copies, especially after the Back to the Future thing on Netflix, where they actually deleted the scene because apparently it was offensive. Buy the physical copies of all of these things, folks. Fuck digital.
Daniel.
Yeah, but this is where his wife basically tells him he's an asshole, and I'm glad she did.
She's like his angel on his shoulder, even though she gets things wrong too. I mean, everyone does, and that's important. You know, not everyone should be written like a perfect Mary Sue type. You know, it's boring.
Yeah. I was talking to my pal about Cobra Kai, and he's kind of all the way through the show. The person he gets the most annoyed with is actually Danny. All the time he's going, "Oh, he's on about this again, and he's doing this again." He just goes. It's ironic that he's not got the. Of all the characters, I don't think he's got the best development, which is a bit unusual. You know, not to say it's badly developed, but compared to other people, it's not as well.
I think maybe it's because he's the most established, you know, and so the focus is sort of shifted elsewhere. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I can see that. But I think if you look at how he was as a kid and how you see him as an adult, he's a sort of just an average-looking middle-aged bloke now, isn't he? So, I know it's a superficial thing to say, but I think a lot of people might sort of see him as a bit of an accountant, you know. Not exactly leading man material, you know.
That might be my friend's problem because he is an accountant. He's seen too much of himself in it. I don't know.
Oh, is this it? Is this the big thing? Hoo-ha? I think this is it, isn't it? The big hoo-ha.
All right, Mr. Spoiler Territory Man. Before anything's happened.
Yeah, don't even think about it. You are a nasty twar now. You want to sit at the table. Get away. Samantha. Yes, Sam. It's all your fault.
Some really cutting stuff being said here. That hair, though. Oh, God.
What a dick.
That's a typical lad, though, that doesn't get what he wants and then starts making up shit to make himself look cool in front of his mates.
Guys that talk like that about girls never, ever get girls. Or if they do, it's nothing fulfilling at all.
This is it, isn't it?
Oh, throwdown time.
Oh, this time's going to be different, you fuckface. Go on, Miguel. Go on! Yeah! Yeah! Kick his ass. Yes, that's it.
Whoa!
Nice one.
The fighting scenes in this are just well choreographed as well. Look at that. This is my favorite part. Bang! Oh, that's it. Put him in his place as well.
Oh,
I love that sequence.
Stunning.
Well, it was thanks to Miguel that things taken up to, but that was just brilliant. And then this fucking idiot. What's she, a counselor or safe space woman, I call her. I get the fuck out of schools. You know place being in schools. Right?
His trading just kicked it.
To be fair, if someone went on a big, throw down in any school and that happened, that kind of
And
would.
Grandma answered the phone.
Yeah.
She was so proud.
was
Luckily,
so
she answered the phone. I love it.
Yeah, he did what you couldn't do, Johnny.
Hmm.
Well, in fairness, you were out of practice, but
There you go. He's earned his
he's gay, yeah.
his gear. Yeah.
I wonder if that's the actual one that he wore in the movies, because if that is pretty cool.
Possibly.
That would be really nice.
But it's an interesting development with him and Miguel, because obviously his son is estranged and he's trying to make up for it, because and then he's looking there and he's like, well, you've abandoned me, and there you are with my replacement. So it's all like, it's so complicated. I love that the complex relationships in this.
When I first seen this part, because this is the first time we come here, I think, during all the episodes, this actually was a very poignant moment.
There's an awful lot of lost children in this show. And even Danny himself is a bit lost as well at times.
Yeah.
That's what makes it
That's
good.
what I mean when he's at his lowest. Who does he go to when he's at his lowest? He goes to Mr. Miyagi.
I think we all
He's
go to the
brave.
people we need the most at points in our lives.
Sure, he even admits that he gets it wrong here, and that he thinks he's doing the right thing, and he doesn't know what the right thing is. That's the thing. The lines between good and bad have been blurred in this. See? It's just a pity Pat isn't around.
Yeah. I'm awful glad there was no digital re-enhancement or anything like that. That would have been terrible.
No, I'm glad that they haven't done that. And I'm glad they used a stand-in actor. When you do see in one scene where he first creates Miyagi-Do, you see a little scene and you get an actor that looks like him, but you only see him from behind. But I agree with you. I wouldn't want to see a CGI version of him in this. So I'm glad that this show pays, he obviously passed away, but I'm glad in the show it's the same thing. But it doesn't belittle his influence that he actually has on the show, which is brilliant. The writers get so much credit. Like Mr. Miyagi is dead, but yeah, this scene here, watch.
That's beautiful.
That was the night in the movie that we watched where Mr. Miyagi gets drunk because he's thinking of his first love or something, wasn't it? Very good. Yeah, I agree. This whole season is brilliant, I have to say. But that scene is great. Look, it's respectfully done, and that's all we want is for these franchises. If you're going to reboot or bring out spin-offs, fine, but do them with respect. And this show does that.
The past is to be revered, not to be destroyed.
Exactly.
I love this because of his viral video. Now we got some viewers.
Business saved.
There's no such thing as bad publicity. Brilliant.
Of course, we knew what was coming when Daniel started clearing out this room. This is definitely one of the best shows on TV right now at the moment. I wonder how many seasons it's actually going to get, because it can't go on forever. Anyway,
You wouldn't want it to.
I would say 5 or 6 and leave it at that. I don't think it should. I mean, it would be sad to see it go, but at the same time, you want to have the quality remain. It's like Fawlty Towers only had 2 series, and they could have done more, but it might not have been as good. We'll have to wait and see. If they can keep up the quality of the last series,
I mean, how many shows do you know that kind of fail after season 6? Quite a lot. They all kind of go downhill. They run out of ideas.
Yeah, they get burnout. And it's creative.
Actors get too much big heads, or too many big heads, rather than they.
There's that as well. Yeah. So all manner of potential pitfalls.
I think these guys are just so happy to be back working again, to be honest, because I think a lot of them, after the Karate Kid franchise, I don't think a lot of them did much after that.
And what they've done as well to keep it fresh, they bring back the characters from the 3 movies, like 1 per season, or a couple per season. But they do it in a way it's not a gimmick, they make it really compelling, and that's so clever.
Yeah.
And
then when I say
for a very simple premise, from a very simple film franchise to really draw it out into a series and still make it compelling to watch. Because we all know how it's supposed to end each season, the big sort of fight thing, but it's getting to that point that it's so interwoven and wonderful to watch.
Well, you'd hate to see
you never get bored watching Cobra Kai.
That's it.
No, as I said, I've watched the whole series now, 1 to 4, 3 times. I've binge watched it 3 times.
There we go. Look, in love memory.
There's quite a lot of that happens as well. This is actually sad as well because, I won't say anything, but Johnny's biker gang, when they come into it, that's a very sad episode. I literally cried.
Oh yeah, that was really heart wrenching.
That's devastating. There is, man.
Beautifully done, though. Beautifully done.
Exactly. That's, again, you're spot on.
Again, heart. There's so much heart and soul in this series, and that's what puts it above so many other TV shows, because you can see that, you can feel that it's genuine. It's not this usual Hollywood. Let's just put out any old trash and let's put in all the member berries and let's put on all these gimmicks and
but the member berries, as you rightly say, they're not
but the member berries are peppered through, not arbitrarily, but it's contextualized within the story with the characters.
Exactly, it makes sense within the narrative of the story that they're trying to tell, that these characters are just not showing up for the sake of showing up. Oh, look, there's such and such. There you go. We've ticked the box for you. No,
they just take those characters and they expand them. From an 80s style actor character role, which is the 3rd film, and it's like it's kind of not that overly developed. It's not too over the top. Backstory. I mean, you've got a little bit here and a little bit there, but then it's sort of not only expounded upon in the series many decades later, but it's explored, it's progressed as well. So it's not just stuck in the past. It's moving it forward.
Look, it's not in your
filling
face.
in all those gaps.
It's done respectfully. When they bring these characters back, it's done with respect. And that's why I think a lot of these people that have come back, that haven't acted in years, are coming back because they've seen the script, they've seen how well developed that character was going to be for the story that they were in, and it was a continuation of the character development, and it was done with respect, and that's what I love about this. And the fact that there is the look at this, I will shout from the rooftops that this is the best show on TV right now, and I honestly do believe that, because they've gotten everything spot on. Everything spot. I've never look at. Yeah, there's no such thing as a perfect TV show, but this is pretty close. I think this is pretty close. I mean, there are one or two things in it that I probably wouldn't like them to go in a different direction with, but overall, I bloody love this show. Listen, this reminds me of the passion that I used to have for Doctor Who. And you know, this is why I love this show so much. It's because it does what I want it to do. It doesn't just pander to fans, but it introduces a new generation, a new audience. And look at those young fans, the way they talk about it. They've actually went back and watched the movies as well, which is great to see. That they're proper fans. That's what we need in our fandom. We need proper fans that understand these things, and there's nobody saying, well, the character should be this and they should be that, or you should change the character. There's none of that going on, right? It's just so well met. It's just I never thought it was possible. Never thought it was possible. Like even Game of Thrones, you know, had its flaws. But this one so far, I don't see any big flaws. I think it's just perfect.
Yeah, I think as well, a lot of people would say, "Oh, it's only because everything else is so woke," and it's like, well, yeah, there is that. There is an element of this thing being like a jewel encrusted, amongst shit. But I think even if we had other really good shows on TV at the same time, if things weren't so fucking awful, I still think Cobra Kai would still stand out as a superior show, because it's got that heart and soul to it, and it has that complexity of a huge cast. It's a huge ensemble cast.
Yeah.
If you think about, and they've all got time to breathe. They've all got their little moments to shine. No one is really lost in all of this. I mean, I'd like to see a bit more from certain characters here and there, but generally, like, everyone gets at least one episode in the season to really shine. I think that I mean, you look at things like Doctor Who and there's too many people. It's not that there's too many people in the cast. It's just they're not written well. They're not doing anything. It's if you can have Cobra Kai, you're gonna have a cast of like a main cast of like 20 odd people. And they all get something to do, and they all have the moment to shine. There's really no excuse. There really isn't.
There's plenty of shows with large casts, and the thing is, though, that Cobra doesn't patronize its audience, and actually aspires to all levels, whether it be somebody who's a teenager or a young kid, all the way up to an adult. Saying,
but you've
different ways.
But you've mentioned a key thing there, right? You've mentioned a very key thing there, right? You look at Doctor Who Flux, the latest series of Doctor Who. Chris Chibnall, in the first episode, introduced a load of characters, right? And in each episode, then, he added new characters, right? Then you see the way Cobra Kai does it, right? But look at how those characters in Cobra Kai, even if they're on the screen for a couple of minutes, how much character development they actually got, right? In 3 series under Chris Chibnall, none of his characters. Now, if we forget about the companions, I'll just talk about the Doctor here. In 3 seasons, her character development has been non-existent, and a character has stood still. Cobra Kai can introduce... Listen, Cobra Kai could introduce 20 characters in one episode, and they'd all get developed. They'd get enough development that would be believable. That's why this show stands out more than the rest that are out there right now, because everybody that's working on this show is pulling one way to make this the best that it can be. And that's why I'll support this show, because they are giving us the best that they can, because we've seen it. right? And I still disagree with some people out there saying, oh, well, I don't like Daniel LaRusso's character development or Johnny Lawrence's development, made them out to be shitty fathers and all of this. Well, yeah, no father is perfect out there. And if you think human beings are perfect, well, then you're watching. I'm telling you, this is what these.
Yeah, but look at
people
the
on the other side
mother.
think.
Look at the mother in this. You know, not
All the
Danny's wife, but I mean, you know, she Johnny's wife, former ex-wife. You know, she's
Yeah.
a fucking mess.
Yeah. But then look
You
at
know.
her then later on, which we won't say, but look at what happens to her later on. Character development. You know, then she becomes likable. You know, it's not Lee. That's the thing that's startling about this. You're absolutely right. This isn't rocket fucking science. You know, this isn't complicated. You know, you develop characters well, we get behind it if the story is good, and that's another thing that sets this apart. The storytelling, it's emotional, it sucks you in. You know, 1 week you're screaming for one character to succeed, and then the next week then you might, oh, he's an asshole, and you're backing someone. This is what I love about this show. Even John Kreese, man, right? Even John Kreese, at the end of Series 4, I won't say what happened, but I felt sorry for him, and I never thought I'd feel sorry for John Kreese. He's an asshole, but I did feel sorry for him. And I never thought I'd actually.
And that's the thing as well, because remember, like, I think it was series, it might have been series 2 when he first came in. There were moments when you felt sorry for him as well, and you thought, oh, actually, he's not so bad. And then you find out he's an arsehole. He was lying all the time.
Yeah.
And then you think, I'll never forgive him. I'll never trust that man again. And then, as you say, in season 4,
then something happens to him, and then I'm like, poor Joe. I know, that's what I mean.
You're just like, oh, actually. Yeah.
You know,
it's a roller coaster.
It is.
Really
Oh, listen, we could talk about this all night, which we would if we could. Trust me. But what you call it? Fuck it. This show. Listen, if you haven't watched it, and there's still people in here that haven't watched it, seriously, I would never. I'm not one for recommending shows all the time. I do recommend the odd one here and there, but if you have not watched Cobra Kai, you really do need to watch. Even if you're not a fan of the Karate Kid franchise, trust me.
I wasn't. I mean, I remember watching them as a kid. Well, at least the first, maybe the second one. I hadn't. I still haven't watched it recently. But I mean, I remember, what it was about. I remember the characters. And,
that's what I mean.
It's not a barrier, and I'm not into karate either,
I know.
It's a great story.
It is,
great
mate.
Characters, great.
Right,
story.
let's get. I don't know. I hope Melina is okay.
Yeah, I was just thinking what happened.
Yeah, she was supposed to turn up, but obviously something might have come up. So hopefully we'll try get her on next week. I will give her notice next week. See, she just be in work, so I don't. We'll have to try figure out something because see what time she works. See if we can fit the streams around our schedule because she is a huge fan of this, and I know if she was on here right now, she'd just be as passionate as I am about it. I'll defend this show till the day I die. I love it. I really do. I'm not messing. I wish I could do the same for Doctor Who, and hopefully under RTD I can do that again because you see what I'm like when we're actually given something decent. Am I moaning? Am I complaining? No, I'm praising. I'm giving it its due credit. And that's all I want to do with Doctor Who. So RTD, don't let me down. That's all I'm going to say. And with that, Lee, you can do the countdown. Because, I don't know what I'll text Melina now and see if we can work something out for next week. Yeah. Anyway, but go ahead.
Hold on a minute. I just had to.
Yeah, I think John Kreese is going to get a redemption arc in it, to be quite honest, because someone brought it up, and I reckon he will get a redemption arc. But you could already see Jordan Series 4 that he was starting to kind of change the way he was thinking in some episodes. There was things that Terry Silver was doing that he didn't agree with. So you could already see that John was actually you know, he knew there was something going on, but he just that cliffhanger at the end. Oh my, Jesus Christ, man! I'm saying no more. You just have to watch it because I'm going to do a stream soon to talk spoilers for the whole series. Like, so if you haven't watched it, next week I'll be doing a video and I'm going to be spoiling it all. So get watching it.
Right,
Trust me. Once you put the fourth episode on, right? Because Lee did the same thing. He said, I'll check it out. I'll try the fourth episode. And he binge watched the whole first fucking series. He was stuck. He was sucked in. And you'll all be sucked in too. So watch it. Trust me. It'll be the best decision you'll ever make. It'll put a smile on your face. It'll make you feel good about yourself. This is just, I'm telling you, this is just one of the, I'm going to stop now because I'm blowing smoke. I'm blowing smoke up all our asses and I don't want to keep doing because I don't want people to see the nice side of me. I'm only messing. Anyway, Lee, go ahead, do your countdown.
Right, go on.
I've got a reputation to maintain.
Yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey!
Right, this one's called Quiver. Anybody wants to know, just in case you're wondering what the episode is. Now back with the camera, so you can see me little facey. Hello, and I've got Daniel beside me, and I'll I'll just punch him in the face.
The collective noun for cobras is a quiver of cobras. I'm not aware of that.
This is one of my favorite episodes now because this is the Johnny Lawrence origin story, basically. But you see, through the movies, we kind of had an indication that things weren't great at home for Johnny. But this episode kind of highlights how bad it was for him, and then I can kind of understand why he was the way he was when he ended up in high school. I know that's no excuse because of what's happening at home, but trust me, if your home life is not good, you know, when you're in school, you don't want to be bullied. So sometimes you might become the bully, which is unfortunate, but that can happen. But again, I love the way the show highlights that. This was me when I first seen karate. No, I'm not messing. This was my reaction when I first seen karate.
Interesting.
I was amazed, and I joined the dojo and all, and I was in it for nearly 2.5, 3 years or something. Then I decided to switch it up and try boxing. That only lasted 2 weeks, as I told you. I mean, I don't know why I changed because I was actually pretty good at the karate, and then I decided now I want to be a boxer instead. That's a real sport. Of course, I was so wrong. So I was doing a sparring session, boxing in the ring.
He's nervous as well. Look at that.
Yeah, and I literally got knocked down. Because back in the day, there was none of this, you know, just showing you the moves. You literally had to get into the ring and they say, right, show us what you got. And like, I'm fighting a boxer that's been boxing years. Show me what you got. Okay. Literally get 1 or 2 punches in thinking, oh, this is easy. Bang, I'm on the deck. Went home to me, man. I don't want to do boxing anymore. But what I love about this new Cobra Kai is the fact that today's generation of kids, they're showing what they like now. Back then, they were all macho and stuff like this. But this is what I like about this. This geeky fella here, like, turning them into karate experts.
Oh
my
great.
God. I see losers.
Fuzzy El Savage.
Imagine someone saying that to you, Lee.
I know, right?
And even Miguel's looking back at the mall saying, I'm sorry about me, sensei, but, you know, this is how he does things.
No heavier child walks around with a t-shirt like that. I'm sorry. I think that's not true. That's completely false and not realistic at all.
The guy with the hat, see the guy with the red hat there? He reminds me of one of the Little Rascals.
Oh God.
you remember that movie, The Little Rascals?
Aye. It was an old set of shorts 100 years ago as well. Oh, man.
So here's a question for everybody in the chat. Would you rather learn Miyagi-Do or Cobra Kai?
Oh, come on. Everyone's going to say Cobra Kai.
Yeah, but next season, won't give spoilers away, but next season, Series 5,
You keep
If-
saying that.
if Danielson does what he says he's going to do, it's going to be epic. I'm telling you, man. Episode 1 is just going to be woo. And apparently, I think they've wrapped up filming already.
Yeah, apparently so.
So it'll be out. Obviously, it'll be out the same time. I reckon around the Christmas period.
Well, that's something we can look forward to.
Yeah.
Let's face it, there's hardly ever anything good on television at Christmas anymore anyway, so it's quite handy when it comes out at that time of year.
Yeah, Chris, I say no. I agree with you, mate. But Series 5 is definitely going to be an interesting one. Timestamp is we're 5 minutes and 6 seconds in, Chris. 5 minutes and 6 seconds. Well, 12 now. I love this scene. Right, who's drinking out of a straw?
No, I was just spinning my ashtray.
Oh, you got one of those spinny ashtrays.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, I remember that. Yes, Danielson.
Oh, dearie me.
In fairness, if I had a son like that was just not. I'm not talking about the weight, but I'm talking about addicted to computer games. I'd be devastated, man. Like, there's more to life than video games, son. There's a whole world out there for you to explore.
I still play video games now.
And if that was my kid, I would kick up. My kid did that to me, man. I would not. So Lee, have you got a thing for El Robbie in this?
Not yet. Season 4.
Oh, season 4, Robbie. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just give us a second there, folks. I just have to talk to Cheryl there for a second. So I'm just going to mute myself there for a second and turn off the camera.
Why is it in all these American shows the friends of somebody's always some couple of guys like this? Ugh. Damn that phone.
Come on, tits.
Yeah.
Oh, vicious. Lip. The one with the freaky lip out.
He really is cruel.
Here we go.
And Dimitri
Gen
always
X
annoys.
meets Gen Z.
Oh, is that so?
So true.
Jeez, right. In the real world, people do what they want to do. It's just like, oh, dearie me. Oh, of course, right to the bad guys from that particular conflict. That's the straight place these people always go to.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Here we go.
don't try me. You're going to find out the hard way, kid. Dearie me. It's the humiliation element to this that really kind of cements this as being so out of place with an awful lot of things these kids would experience, you know? I mean, the humiliation that they get, it's kind of like the cyberbullying and all that. That's their world now.
Yeah.
They're not used to somebody physically getting up in their face quite as often as that. Kids still getting fights and stuff, and people still getting fights, physical fights today. But the kind of the sneaky behind your back type stuff is far more prevalent now, I would say.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's quite noticeable on the fact that even the most nerdiest of kids are engaging in aggressive online bullying because it's like because they can't do it physically, so they can do it mentally and to a wide audience. You know, it's quite insane, really, the way it's.
You see a couple of kind of middle-aged dudes on Twitter or something saying, "Anytime you like, pal, I'll meet you here" and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
guys, that's also really, really sad, you know. But no, you do get to see both sides of it and how the generations are handling these things, which makes it so. I don't know.
Who does?
Are we wrong?
No. No, we
Was
are
it
not.
better in our day? You know, it's like the old adage, the kind of older people that say they used to belt me every day at school and it didn't do me any harm. well,
Yeah, but look, the way we were brought up, obviously you can't necessarily bring up kids the same way. Our parents were just a different breed altogether. Same with our teachers and stuff. The problem I have is just this: is that the mollycoddle kids now, you know, it's participation medals and all of this. I'm sorry, but life is hard. You know, you're gonna have failure in your life at some stage. Nobody's perfect. You will have those failures. It's how you get back up, dust yourself down, and move on. That shows true character of someone. This is why I don't like today's generation, because they're being told, oh no, it's not your fault, you know, it's someone else's fault. You know, so you don't worry, you're perfect. This is what I don't like. This is why I love this show, because it shows these teenagers, they have all the complexities, they make mistakes, they aren't perfect. None of these girls in this are super A's, right? They have their flaws, right? They do stuff in it that, you know, you say, yeah, that's true to what would happen in real life. And that's all we want. You know, if you're going to be doing these shows, you've got to show what it's like. And this is exactly what would happen in a high school, you know?
I would
Sam
say
doesn't help herself.
It's quite interesting you're saying that, no, because I actually think a lot of the younger folk now are a bit more resilient. And I think it's the kind of generation from like currently maybe mid-20s just now who are a bit more like the participation trophy generation. And I think that the wheels of time and the pendulum has swung in a different direction slightly. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying that there aren't people who need to be given more personal responsibility and resilience, but I don't think it's quite as all-encompassingly mollycoddled as you think. I think you'd be surprised, you know, or maybe just mildly surprised. But I do think that the young folk today have got a whole bunch of pressures that if I'd had them when I was their age, I don't know if I'd have made it, because I think there's an awful lot of things that they do have to put up with because of the constancy of interaction with people.
No,
That's
I get it. It is different for them, and especially in the age of social media and stuff, and things have changed. And yeah, I look, I'm not saying that today's generation don't have it hard, right? Of course they do. They obviously they do, but it's being made a lot easier for them because nothing is their fault. It's other people's fault, and that's wrong. You know, they've got to start taking responsibility for their own mistakes and their own actions, but they don't. And that's what I don't like about it. I'm not saying it's all this generation because we do have people on this show like a Daniel or a Charlotte who are that generation, but have their heads on their shoulders. You know, they don't want to be pandered to. They don't want participation medals. They don't want anything handed to them. They want to earn it. And that's what I feel is wrong with this generation. They don't want to earn anything. They just want it all handed to them. Now, as you said, it's not them all, and you're right to say that. But that's my problem. Everything is handed to them, you know, and it shouldn't be, because when they become adults, then they're not going to be prepared for the real world. And you know what the real world is like. It's
I don't know
a
if that's
fucking
entirely true. What I would say is, Noel, that I think an awful lot of young people do want certain amounts of responsibility, and they do want to have all those things that you're talking about. I think one of the things that we're maybe not doing, the people in charge of things, is always giving them those opportunities.
That's what I
That's
mean. It's not
kind of
them
what Cobra
themselves.
does.
It's the people that are supposed to be educating them and yeah, stuff like that. You are right. It's not necessarily them, but if you're handed stuff for nothing, you're gonna take it. And I don't blame them in a way. I'd probably do the same myself. But
Well, it's kind of like Cobra Kai itself. You think about it, it's a bunch of kids, totally different backgrounds, looking for some kind of direction in their life, and they find something and they go towards it, and they're facilitated in their learning and their personal choices. And I think
yeah,
that the kids in this show, for example, learn a lot of harsh lessons, and that's what makes the show compelling. And I think that's why it works cross generationally. You know.
I loved Miguel there though. When she brought up sex, he thought she was literally talking about sex.
Oh dear.
I do love their relationship, I have to say.
Mm.
They do go well together.
They do. They actually do.
I think that actress has got an awful lot of really great things she does with stillness and how she moves her eyes very carefully and slowly, and the knowing
Yeah.
looks. There's a
No, I
very,
agree with you. She's
there's
a
a
good
very
actress.
mature, there's a very mature, beyond their years type of intelligence in the actress.
I agree
There's a
with
lot
you.
we've seen kid actors throughout our lives, and some of them are fantastic, and some of them are just lamentable. But she really has a range in her that other people don't have even within the show. I think, you know.
No, I agree. I think I think out of all of the female actresses that we have, the young crowd, I think her and the girl with the glasses are probably two of the better actresses in the show so far, because they do introduce another female character later on, which I think is brilliant. I do love her character. I won't say anything, but when they introduce that other female character, she's brilliant, and I think she's a great actress as well. I mean, she has some moments with Daniel's wife that are just bleeding, like brilliant. Look, again, you know, they hired people based on their talent in this show. They didn't hire people based off skin color or wherever their pronouns were or any of that nonsense, right? They cast them because they were the best people that they thought for the role that they wanted them to play. And that's all we've ever asked.
Get off the spectrum, Pronto.
Yeah, I know what he says to Hawk. Well, he's not Hawk yet, but Eli.
Wow, this is really going for it.
You can even see the other kids going, this is too much.
He's trying to rile him into.
That's it. That's all he's trying to do. He's trying to make him angry. That's all it is. Yeah, he's going about it the wrong way, but You know, because that's even Miguel tries to say, well, that's what he's like. But I do love when he comes back and he has the confidence. But you needed to see that, how he was treated and stuff. Yeah, that's what I mean. Look.
Instantly done, right? Where's the beer? Here we go. Oh dear. Yeah, but they are losers, and that's why they find themselves, and that's why they grow, and that's what you need to do, Johnny. Don't be so blooming bad and harsh on them.
But look,
I have,
even Johnny here, look at his reaction after he says, "You don't know what it's like to be a loser." It really got to him.
Yeah. I have infinite what I was going to say, infinite patience and forgiveness with young people because they're still learning and they're growing. It's hard to find your way in the world. Adults, on the other hand, they annoy me.
Yeah, but they're the ones that are corrupting these kids, which is sad to see, because if you are given the right life lessons and stuff, you know, this generation would be far better off. I personally think anyway.
I think there's a lot of good life lessons getting given out to kids these days, but I just think that there's so much out there that can't really be watched over and what kids interact with in their free time and on their phones, etc. It's a tough world in a different way. Ours was a bit more like Johnny's for this. You could see everything in front of you in some ways, physically. Whereas with this, it's far more behind your back and city. It's not always visible. And, you know, it's not easy. And everybody really wants to be accepted. All those kids join Cobra Kai in this because they want acceptance and they want to be someone more than what they've been so far in their lives. And that's why I think we shouldn't be too harsh on young folk. I think it's I know getting to our age, guys, it's very easy to go, see these young people. It's not quite as
but then you realise that when people were saying that about us when we were younger, they were right as well. Because we weren't a bunch of dicks.
Well, they were saying it about our grandmothers and their generations, and listen to the music they listen to, and all this kind of stuff, and look all it.
Yeah, but I mean, there's nothing. We're not talking about music these days, though, are we? We're talking about people cutting their tits off. You know, things like that. That's a whole other level.
Well,
you know, to be fair,
my grandfather used to despise all bands in the 70s that had long hair. He just could not abide it, and he despised Queen when he first seen Queen. And then
this generation themselves will get it from the upcoming generation. They'll be looking back at it because every generation rebels against the previous one anyway. So
I agree. Yeah, no, I agree. It does happen. I mean, we rebelled against their parents. Our parents rebelled against their parents. It happens.
Yeah, it's just part of nature. It's just how we ever evolve.
Because us, when we're kids, we think we know everything. We think we could take on the whole world and stuff like that.
Well, Oscar Wilde said, you know, the young know everything. The middle-aged the middle-aged suspect everything. The elderly believe everything. And that's so true. You know, that's so true.
It's a de-aged Ed Asner. Dear me.
So that's who she thought. Remember, this is Johnny Lawrence's mother. So that's Johnny Lawrence's mother, right? So, like, I mean, you can understand where Johnny's coming from when he sees his ex-wife is actually basically behaving like a twat and doing what she did, what his mother did. His mother went on dates to find a suitable bloke to take care of her and her son, and that was the result. And now his wife, his ex-wife, I should say, is doing this exact same thing. Johnny is
It's really,
messed up big time.
it's really strange because an awful lot of people eventually or quite frequently end up in similar situations to some of their parents and repeat the same mistakes. You know, the idea of sins of the father are visited on the son,
Yeah.
etc. And that has been true since time started, and that's one of the reasons why it works so well when you see how you've got father-son, mother-daughter relationships, or just parent-child relationships, and how they are, you know, repeating the same mistakes, and how it's psychologically messing with it, all parties, but you're not seeing one or other necessarily making the right decisions to end that pattern. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why it's compelling, you know. I think everyone knows in these situations what they need to do to change things about their lives, but they don't do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really, it takes people so many years to figure those things out. And some people never do. And that's one of the sadnesses of life, you know. Sorry, I'm getting a bit philosophical tonight, guys, you know.
Yeah, well, why not? I mean, that's the thing, you know, this has inspired, you know, a bit of depth. You know, that's depth begets depth. You know, I think that's fair to say.
And the interesting thing is where they find surrogate parent figures in their lives and who they go to and why they admire them. See what I mean? And then they bounce back and forward. That's a form of rebellion as well.
It's great how they've set this up though for when later seasons happen. Then you know it's very see they're already laying the groundwork. These writers from Series 1, you know, so they obviously have a clear plan and they're following it.
I wish I could write as well as this.
Same.
I mean, we can all write, but we can't write that well.
But this is where Johnny says, "Yeah, I've been hard on you," but again, he explains himself here. I used to be the weirdo kid.
Yeah. Here he comes.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, I love it. I love Hawk, even though he does do shit. I love him because he has that story.
He has a great arc. Just like the show suggests, you know, these characters' arcs snake, don't they? They go from one thing to the other and back again, and it's just, you know, wonderful. don't take that wrong. Are you ready to learn the way of the fist?
Yeah.
Care to rephrase?
Right, now, hold on. Wrong earphones out. There we go. Put the right ones in so I can hear you guys. So that's it. That's it. We'll be back next week. Remember now, we're only doing 2 episodes next week because there's only 4 to go. So I don't really want to do 4 in one night because it's so we're going to split them in two. So next week we have the All Valley, and then episode 8 is a molting, and then episode 9 is different but same, and then number 10, episode 10, the finale, is called Mercy. So yeah, and it's got a 9.3 out of 10, which just goes to show you how highly rated it actually is. So there you go. Right, lads, obviously let's get into it. So Lee, what were your thoughts on what we've watched tonight, and what would you rate each episode out of 10? Last week, I think you gave them all 10s, didn't you? Did you give them all 10s last week? Yeah,
I did. Yeah.
Yeah,
I get it. You know, this is really sort of now mid-season, getting into the meat bones of it, and you're seeing the transformations begin, and everything's, you know, we've ended on a right, off we go kind of thing. And I like that vibe. You know, it's good to have that pick me up midway through the season. We've got the wonderful development. We had a wonderful scene in the cafeteria of the school cafeteria where, you know, Miguel's training just kicks in. I love that. You've got Hawk, the creation of Hawk there. You've got the issue with the dojo facing, you know, shutting down because
because of Daniel's stuff going on. Yeah. Hey, puppy.
It's really hard to sort of. I mean, it's because it's 3 episodes and trying to go over each one. But you know, what's to say? You know, it's just a pure joy. You know, all the characters cast just absolutely brilliant. The story of all these disparate characters just sort of being knotted together in this bizarre kind of like a bizarre retribution game, you know, like between two characters from the 80s, you know, and all these other characters get sort of drawn in and sort of tied in with it, and I love the clash of civilizations between the sort of Gen X sort of mentality and the Gen Z.
Yeah.
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Yeah, I always find that so funny because he just demolishes their entitlement, you know, completely, which I love. I can't help it. So yeah, 10, 10, 10. Yeah, it's just there's nothing wrong with any of these episodes at all.
Fantastic. I agree with you. I think every episode's a 10 again. I think I've already said what I need to actually say. I think we've been talking.
I mean, that's why I like trying to sum it up. It's too much of a syrup because, you know, that's an hour and a half of
that's what I mean.
We've just watched it.
And we've been talking about what we actually like about it. So, I mean, so we don't really need to go into too much.
Yeah, I'm already worn out.
So I'm gonna give them all a 10 as well, because I don't think there was a bad episode, and it gets better, by the way. So, you know, I might have to start bringing in 10 plus ratings and all of this rubbish, because it does get better, in my opinion. But yeah, Hawk gained his wings. Exactly. I mean, his character development, I will agree with Lee. I mean, you look at him as a character throughout the whole series, his character development is probably one of the best in it, because he goes from here to here to here and then back to here. You know what I mean? It's like full circle with Hawk. So I do like his character, but every episode for me is a 10. Scott, what would you give each episode out of 10 this week?
I'd give them all 10. The only one I would maybe not be as high on was the Cobra Kai Never Dies. I thought it was a wee bit. We've got to get this plot point out the way type thing about him not going back to karate, and now he is going back to karate. So there's that. But for me, what I've got out through the whole thing of these 3 episodes is the emotional core of the thing. I think there's far more about it saying some very confused people and people who've also had very difficult experiences, whether they are young or are old, are finding out more about themselves as people. And I still think that it's shown a cross-generational thing where life is not easy for all different groups, and they're growing people. So I think it's very easy to say maybe the older generation were a bit silly in certain ways, maybe the younger generation are. I just think that the thing gets tone bang on every time, and it genuinely engages the audience to the point where they are made to reflect on their own past if they're older and their own future if they're younger. And I think that that's what makes the show so all-encompassing, brilliant and beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, I can't agree more. I think that's absolutely true.
Yeah, as I said, this is it's the reason why we're talking about it so much is because it's so good. And I mean, yeah, we've been watching, but you know, when we see a certain scene, we're talking about, and then you know, this is what's good about this. We're not just talking, oh yeah, I like it and all. We're actually doing a proper deep dive analysis of what's going on with this show, and the only way that's possible is because it's so good. The writing is so good. The characters are so good.
It's
engaging. You know, you couldn't, and it's engaging. Exactly. You can't do that with Doctor Who right now. You know?
No, because you gloss over and you're like, well, there's nothing really to talk about because nothing happens. There's no motivations. It's all just slapdash and that'll do.
Exactly.
And this is like, as you said, onion layers. You know, you got all this nuance and pathos and just, you know, there's, as I said, heart and soul, emotion. There's, you know, you look at the eyes of these actors. You really, I mean, the fantastic acting in this. Even from the younger cast members, right through to like Johnny. I just fucking love Johnny.
I do. I never thought I would. Look at that's the one surprise.
His character is just—he's so endearing because he's just so. He's so set in his ways. He's so stubborn, but he's so right, but he's so wrong at the same time.
Yeah,
like, oh god,
I agree.
You can't help but love him.
You know, it's Johnny. That's the biggest surprise for me. Is characters that I didn't like during the trilogy of the Karate Kid, the likes of John Kreese, Terry Silver, Johnny Lawrence, his mates, and then all of this stuff starts that you know what I'm talking about, and then you see a different perspective. Jesus Christ, get your words out. Anyway, and it's great. It is. I never thought I would be cheering on Johnny Lawrence. Seriously. And this is why this show is so good. If you can get a character in the film trilogy that was a bit of an ass, right? And make no mistake, Daniel LaRusso or Jordan Dawes movies was a bit of a dickhead as well. But we kind of knew he's a little bit of a dickhead, right? But we didn't understand the reasons why Johnny was being a bit of a dickhead. But now we do know why he was a dickhead. His home life wasn't great. His stepfather, or whatever you want to call him, was a nasty piece of work. And we get to see, obviously, a little bit more on that. Which I think does be great, and there is one scene in it where I love where Johnny basically gets one over on the old bastard, and smiles, and I just love it. I love that he got that win. Like, this is what I mean. I can't understand. I love Johnny fucking Lawrence. I want him to fucking succeed. You do though. You want him to succeed, and you want Daniel also to succeed. But I think we're getting to the stage now where lads work together. If you work together, you will become the best. They would. If they actually, hopefully they might do that. And that's how they'll probably end it. With the two of them coming together, right, properly this time, creating a dojo together. And maybe it'll end like that where those two have finally come to inner peace with each other and can actually, because there are moments throughout the whole 4 series where you could tell if these two just put the past behind them, you know, they would get on with each other. Yet they're totally opposite, but they have a lot in common as well, which is crazy, you know. So there are moments in the show where they give us that, and I genuinely love those moments because now I just want the two of them to I'd love to get two of their heads and just smack the two of them together, and Mr. Miyagi there giving out to the two of them, like, get your act together, you know, like these are grown ass adults now, come on. But this is what I love about it. I never thought I would, but look, I could go on about this all night, but I won't, because I know everybody has other stuff to do and stuff like that, and Lee is a bit tired and all because he's had a bit of a rough week like us all. I think these last couple of weeks have been really rough on a lot of people out there. So it'll be nice to chill for a while. But yeah, I just want to, just before we go again, it's been over a month now since we heard from Alpha Omega. I sent him another message yesterday, the day before that, and the day before that, and he still hasn't seen the messages or responded. Now, we did have a couple of people out there that knew people in the Philadelphia area. Again, no joy. And apparently hospitals and stuff like that were looked at. But the problem that we do have is the fact that we, you know, Alpha went under Alpha Omega, and we never, which is probably my fault anyway, and a lot of us, we never asked him what his fucking name actually was. Because if we had his name, then we would be able to find out a lot faster. So if there's anybody out there that personally knows Alpha Omega, knows his name, could you pass it on to us so we can actually go and look into this and see if we can see if he's okay, because we're all very worried. And it's not like him, even if he's taking a break, he wouldn't be gone for this long. And I'm just saying it out straight. And I know a lot of you won't want me saying that, but it's the truth and the fact of the matter. He would have got in touch by now. The fact that he hasn't, you know, is making me think all sorts of things, which I don't want to get into, but you all know what I'm talking about. So if anybody if there's anybody out there that knows him personally, please either get in contact with him or get in contact with one of us. Just at least let us know that he's okay. That's all we need to know, if he's okay. So again, Alpha, if you're listening, you know, please get in contact with us all. Let us know that you're all right. And as I said to all you guys out there, anybody knows him, please get in touch with me or Lee, anybody that's connected with this channel, and we'll get the information passed on to us, and then we'll be able to look into it and see what the story is. But yeah, as I said, over 6 weeks now, so it's getting a bit, you know, worrisome now at this stage. So hopefully, fingers crossed, everything is okay, and he's just decided to take an extended break. Hopefully that is what's gone on there. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. Right, we'll be back here tomorrow. I've got a few videos and stuff to get off my chest, so stay tuned, because it's going to be one to definitely watch. Yeah, because right now I feel like this channel is under attack, and I'll say no more until tomorrow, but let's just say it's how do I put this? It's not that Cheryl thinks it's a threat, but basically I've been told if I don't get with the program and get in line, the channel could face consequences. So I'll be talking about that tomorrow, because at the end of the day, as I said here 2 weeks ago, I will never compromise my opinions. I will never not stay true to myself. I will always stay true to myself, no matter what. And if I think there's a problem going on out there in the Doctor Who community or with the show, I'm going to continue to do what I've always done. So, you know, it seems like battle lines are being drawn, and it looks like I might have to come out fighting and defend myself, because I am not going to stop having people on this channel that let's just put it this way. Apparently they don't like the way my channel's being run. I'm being watched apparently, and they don't like some of the guests that I have on. And at the end of the day, loyalty to me means a big thing, and I'm not going to turn me back on any people that I've had on this channel. No way. That's not what I am. I'm not a sellout. I'll never sell out.
Well, I'll tell you, to flip it around, right? Do you tell these people who they should mix and socialize with? No. What's it got to do with them? I'm sorry, there is no one that's on this channel that has espoused anything remotely bad, in my opinion. It's ridiculous. I wish people would just leave their own bigotry at home. Like, if they want to start calling everyone else bigots and everywhere, you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't be behaving this. I'm sorry, that's bigotry in its own right. That's the definition. If you're intolerant of other people's opinions or intolerant of absolutely anything that is outside of your own sphere of belief, you're the bigot.
Yeah, but
deal with it. I mean, this is the real world. The real world is a complex place for the people with complex ideas and notions and things that simply not everyone agrees on everything. And if they did, what a fucking boring world that would be.
Yeah, the thing that I just don't like about it is basically being told,
mind their own business.
Get with the program and to back RTD. I've backed RTD. Yeah. At first, when he first announced, I was saying, great thing, but I don't know how he's going to save the show. But that's not me not backing him. I've backed RTD from day one, and I've tried to convince a lot of people on this channel too at my own getting it in the neck, and I still will do it because I stay true to myself. I will get as many people as I can to possibly to get behind this era of Doctor Who, because I don't want it to go away. But at the end of the day, I'm look, if push comes to shove and I have to rebrand, I will, right? Because the way these people are talking, the TARDIS own name, they're saying BBC owns that and all this other rubbish, and they can take me channel down.
Yeah, well, what about?
Yeah, I know all the others out there, but apparently I'm not. It's not just me. They're being looked at, and others are being looked at. I just look at the end of the day. As I said, I am not going to compromise who I am, and if someone out there doesn't like what I have to say, well, fine, fair enough.
Go somewhere else.
I'm not going to compromise. As I said.
What business is it of theirs?
I'm willing to give RTD.
If you don't like it, jog on. I'm not doing that in a G4 kind of way, But seriously, if you don't like the content, we're not hog tying you to stay here. We're not chasing for subscribers here. Well, we have a nice little bunch of people. I won't say community because I'm sick of that word.
See, it's like I'm being punished for having certain people on my channel, right? But at the end of the day, right, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care what people say. Look, at the end of the day, if any of my guests came on and said something controversial, right? Lee knows this better than anybody else, right? Because he knows how I am. If there are people controversial and they're saying some shit that is controversial, they won't be on the channel, right? Because I'm not about that. But at the end of the day, if they're just talking about a TV program or they're calling out the BBC or whatever, right? They can do that. I don't listen. I have friends that are left-sided when it comes to politics. I have friends that are right-sided. Do I judge any of those people? Do I judge anybody? No, never have and never will.
That's because you're a bloody adult. I mean, right? Can we just start being adults? You don't like this, therefore you're a bad person. You like that, so therefore you're a bad person. It's like, can we just stop with this schoolyard fucking bullshit and just go,
no,
I fundamentally disagree with you, but I will fight for your right to say it because we live in a free and just society. You can't have a free and just society. Exactly. You can't have social justice if you can't have social commentary. If you can't speak honestly and you're forcing people to silence themselves and shut up, you are fascists. Period.
is a scare tactics. Well,
It
Cheryl
really
read
is.
it.
It's authoritarian.
Cheryl thinks it is. Cheryl thinks it's scare tactics, and it's
Bollocks.
basically,
That's what it is.
you know,
Grow up. Fuck off.
she actually said it was a threat. I don't see it as a threat as such, because, you know, I know these people, and I know deep down, right, and I just want to make this clear. I know deep down they have me best interests at heart, but at the end of the day, it's my channel, right? I have backdoor TD from
People
day
don't have
one.
a right to make demands on your content, on your time, on your intellectual property, right? You're talking about a TV show, right? If your politics do not align with theirs or their, it's irrelevant. You should not be coerced or compelled to compromise your integrity to suit someone else, ever.
Exactly.
No one, especially if they call themselves a friend or associate or whatever, should have that power over you. That is an abusive. That's an abusive relationship.
Yeah, but I do understand, and I want to make this clear. I do understand that these people do have the best interests at heart, but at the end of the day, look.
Well, so do I. But
yeah,
at the
end of the day, I'm my own person. I do things my way, and I'm not ever going to compromise my opinions or change my opinions because I might get a better ride on Twitter or a better ride on YouTube. That's not what I'm about, right? I will always speak honestly from the heart. And
all my life, I've been bullied, harassed, harangued, told to behave this way, told to do this, you know. And I'm sorry, no, there comes a point when people need to back off. Like, people will always look. The path to hell is filled with good intentions, right?
Yeah,
you can project how you want other people to behave or to be, but that's projection. That's you own that, not me, right? So I can look at someone and interact with someone, and immediately in my mind, in my head, I've got a perfect picture of who that person is. It's not real. That's not real. That's a projection. And people need to accept that. You can never understand the complexities of someone else, and you should never try and control that in someone. However good the intentions are.
Yeah, I did make this point, though, and I thought it was a very valid point. I says, well, channels like mine wouldn't exist if BBC had got things right in the first place.
That's it.
So at the end of the day,
fundamentally,
you know, at the end of the day, I wouldn't exist if BBC hadn't screwed up with Doctor Who. I wouldn't.
BBC created you.
That's what I mean. So at the end of the day, I've been like the way I have been for the past 5 years. Yeah, over the years, I've kind of mellowed out a little bit, but I'm still very passionate, and I will still tell it as it is. I haven't changed that. I haven't compromised that. It's just I wore things differently than I used to do in the old days because I would get myself into trouble.
No, I don't know who's saying this to you, and I'm sorry if it comes across as belligerent, but quite honestly, I'm tired, so tired of people trying to control other people and try and cast them, and for whatever reason, it's passive aggressive to try and coerce and manipulate people by saying, I'm going to take this away from you if you don't do as I want. That is not okay. That is never okay. Whatever your intentions are, that is not a discussion. That is a dictatorship, right? That's a diktat. That's telling someone, you must do as I want, otherwise I'm going to oppress you or suppress you or whatever with taking something away from you or whatever. That's an abusive relationship, whatever way you want to look at it. Not okay. If you want to be honest or intellectually honest, then it has to be a conversation. It can't be what do you call it? A one-way street. A demand. You can't make demands of other people on something that they are doing that they own. Something they put their life and soul into, and then you come along and say, well, you can't do that because I'm upset about it, or I don't like this about it. So, well, if you don't like it, you're not hogtied to stay here. Now, that's a discussion you can have with that person or persons, you know. But like, you can't do that. It comes a point when you just have to make a stand and say, look, appreciate whatever you may have done for me in the past, but that stops if you're going to make this. If I say yes to this now, what demands are you going to make down the line?
See, that's the
Where
thing.
does it
They
stop?
say they, and I do genuinely believe they are trying to look out for me because they really do care. I know these people, so I know they do have good intentions. But I was just, it really has shaken me because if any of the stuff that they've told me is true, well, I'm genuinely terrified for the future of this channel if that's the way it's going to go. Because it means I would have to change everything that I am. And you know that I would rather destroy this channel than actually do that. I am not going to change who I am for nobody.
Well, you know,
I accept everybody for who they are.
What's the name?
I just expect those people to be the same with me. Right,
Yeah.
I'm not mentioning names. I'll never will. Even Marty said, if you're not getting saucy, you're gonna dump stuff that you've kept to yourself. And I told them out straight, no, because loyalty means something to me. And even though this has kind of taken me aback today, and it has upset me, I'm not going to lie. These people have done a lot. They have had me back, and let's be honest, they have given us some cracking information. But at the end, just because of that, doesn't mean all of a sudden now you can tell me and dictate and say that this is probably going to go on. Because
yeah, but we had this issue with one person we had on the channel before, right? That person is now no longer on this channel. That was done and dusted. Now, if they're bringing this up again, I'm sorry, where does it end? Like, this is very controlling. Look, appreciate that there is information that's come through. I understand that. I wasn't aware of that's what you were referring to specifically. So if I've come across as belligerent or aggressive or said fuck off or whatever, don't mean it to be, you know, in a way. I don't take that out on Noel. That's me speaking. I suppose I'm next for the chopping block. But it's not okay. I'm sorry. No matter what the situation
I just want to make it clear, you're going nowhere.
Okay.
You're not going anywhere. You will never not be allowed on this channel. You're always welcome here. I want to make that clear. And I'm also saying that to the people out there as well. I want to make one thing clear. Lee is going nowhere. Right? He is and has done a lot. He's a friend. He's been loyal to me. He's had me back. There's no way I'm turning me back on him or anybody else on this channel that has.
Well, I will say to these people, I will say, whatever you see on stream is one thing, but you don't understand necessarily what goes on behind the scenes, how those relationships are forged, and what people do for other people behind the scenes. You might think someone, because they say something edgy on a stream one day, and you label them as trouble and you want them out, which you don't have the power, you don't have that right to do that.
Exactly.
But you're not taking into account the things that go on behind the scenes. You don't take into account the friendship that's there. You don't take into account what other things happen in terms of, you know, building this channel and getting things out and defending it.
Look,
90% of the time is spent defending this channel from people who want to take it down because they're unscrupulous.
Lee has been there and supported me through my lowest moments. These people that I'm talking about have also done the same. I'm not going to take that away, but at the end of the day, Lee is not coming and telling me, no, you shouldn't have this person on or this person because it looks bad and it might bring some negative attention to your channel. Well, I've been getting it for the last 4 years anyway, 5 years, because I haven't.
If I have a problem with something with this channel, I will talk to Noel about it, but it's a conversation. It's a conversation. Noel has to make up his own mind, right? I can lay out what I think, what I believe to be the best the thing to do. But ultimately, it boils down to what Noel wants to do. And I would never, ever dream of laying down the law and laying out ultimatums.
Yeah.
Saying that if you don't do as I want, I'm going to do this, or I'm not going to do that. That is not okay. That's I'm sorry to say it, but it is an abuse of power.
Yeah.
You're putting him over the barrel, and that's not okay.
I just want
don't
to,
accept
yeah,
that.
we'll leave it at that because I just want, because Marty in the chat, see, this is what's happening. Marty says, have I done something? Marty, you've done nothing wrong. Right?
Have I done something?
Nobody's done anything wrong. Listen, guys. I'm just right now. Look. Right now, I was just taken aback from it, and I'm a little bit emotional right now. Right at the end of the day, you know I've been through worse than this, so everything's alright. I haven't fallen out with anybody. I haven't even fallen out with these people because I wouldn't, because they have done a lot for me as well, and I do consider them friends, and I can understand why they came to me to say the things that they said. But at the end of the day, as Lee said, it's my channel. I make the decisions on the channel. And if they turn out to be the wrong decisions, that's fine, fair enough. I will live with that. Right?
And the other thing as well is like in all the years I've known Noel, I have never not once asked who his sources are. He's never told me, he's never offered them to me. I've said flat out, don't even tell me. And I've said I don't want to know, because I respect him, and I respect his loyalty, his idea of loyalty, absolutely. And I've never asked him since. I've never asked him at all. I've said to him, don't ever tell me, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
He said he would never do that. And it's like, good, right, so we understand, because I said I don't want to be responsible, and that's because I'm not trying to control or tell him what to do. And I think that needs to be understood, right? You can't try and change someone's channel by coercion or force or threat or ultimatum. You have to have a conversation, and you can explain why you don't like something, but you can't ultimately lay down the law and say you can't therefore have these people on or that person on or whatever. You can express why you don't like it, but you shouldn't really make an ultimatum, say we're going to take away your toys. You know, that's not okay. You're ultimately effectively trying to destroy someone's channel.
They're not saying they'll take away toys from me. They're saying that BBC could come after me because of my logo, because I'm using the TARDIS name.
You don't have BBC on there, right? You've got a publicly available font that's used. The name, look, we know a certain person and certain channel who has TARDIS in their name. What, are they going to go after him as well?
Well, as Cheryl actually said, though, I don't have a period in between the words like it's supposed to. Like, I have TARDIS spelled TARDIS. If it was to spell it the proper way, it would be T.A.R.D.
And the only reason it says official is because so many accounts have tried to copy and clone Noel's channel.
Yeah, they said that could be a problem, which I think could be, actually, though.
Well, they will get rid of it, but just bear in mind that there has been a lot of cloned channels trying to copy this. That's why
they've done it. Yeah, we've seen that. I mean, they've done that. I mean, that's happening a lot.
Personally, I think it would. I think just calling it TARDIS Zone or the TARDIS Zone would be perfectly fine.
I think I might take away the official YouTube channel and just knock that off and just leave it as the TARDIS. I agree with you. I think that would work better, because saying you're an official, I do see that point there, and I think you do as well.
Maybe make it one word, and it's TARDIS Zone. Then it's not TARDIS and Zone. It's just TARDIS Zone. So it's a totally different word.
Yeah. But look, I'm going to leave it there because...
But if I got the wrong end of the stick, I'm sorry.
You haven't got the wrong end of the stick. These people are just saying, but I will say, they're saying they're only advising me. They're not really giving ultimatums. So just telling me what they've been told.
So if I got that wrong, I apologize.
And how it's looking to other people. But at the end, they don't care how it looks to other people. At the end of the day, BBC created me because they fucked up my TV show, a TV show that saved my life. Right? I don't want to go on another rant here, but I'm just going to say it out straight. When RTD was announced, I was relieved like a lot of other fans. Right? Now, when Chris Chibnall continued to make the mess bigger, I did actually say, I think RTD is going to have a really hard job of fixing this. But I've always backed him, and I always will back him because of what he done in 2005. He saved me life bringing that show back. I owe him. So I'm never going to go against the man, right? If this show doesn't turn out the way that I want it to turn out, I'll walk away rather than attack the man and go after him and say he's writing his rubbish. I would walk away from Doctor Who then, New Who. I'd be done.
The only thing
I have respect for him. I do.
The only thing I have, still have the issue with here in this regard, and I'll just leave it at that, is Noel can have whoever the fuck he wants on. Period. Full stop. End of story. I don't see that as a gatekeeping to information coming in or whatever. That's ultimately down to between you and them. But really, I think it's bad form to say, because then they're acting like producer basically.
Yeah. Well,
if
it just ends up that I don't get any more information anymore, so be it. There's nothing I can do about that. It's been a good ride while it's lasted. I'll be forever grateful.
There's no guarantee it's going to continue into the RTD era anyway.
Exactly, but I'll be forever grateful for all of that. But as I said, I can only be myself. I can't be anybody else. And if that's not good enough for people, then that's fine. That's just life. People are gonna like you. People are gonna dislike you. But all I can say is I stayed loyal right until the end. And I'm getting upset now because I'm just thinking, this is not the way I wanted any of this to go. But it did. This channel found a path, and that was the path we went down. Whether it's right or wrong, I will know years from now, right? But right now, I do believe I'm on the right side of history. I do believe everything that I said. Even the China video was brought up again. How many times do I have to keep saying that in the very same video, I apologize for those comments and I actually then rephrased what I meant to say? Like, how many times do I have to pay for that as well? Like, that was thrown out there and that's where I got upset when that was actually thrown out. Well, they've seen your China video and all of this and that, and you're coming across as this, that, and the other.
Yeah, but they only see what these little shits. Bearing in mind,
they've only seen the clip video.
Let me just say this, right?
I've
seen the new one. I've seen the new one, right?
You were on that stream. With me.
I was on that stream.
Because you pulled me up. You actually said, "Noel, you can't say that." And I remember saying, "I don't mean it that way, Lee." And I rephrased that, and you said, "I know where you are coming from, but you know what I mean."
I was raised by Chinese people. My grandfather, my grandmother raised me, and my grandfather's Chinese, right, from Hong Kong. I had Hong Kong relatives in Macau, and I grew up in that culture, and I understood it. I understood the fear. There was a lot of fear at the time. And also, I would just like to point out to these people, and, if they're in communication with these people who've seen that video, that clip taken out of context, show them the full thing. Show them what was actually said. And not just the one that's curated by a bunch of people who've rape-shamed Noel's wife, by the way. These people don't care about Chinese people. These people don't know any Chinese people, I bet, right? These people are using that just to get at Noel because he said something out of turn. It was taken out of context. There was no.
I was angry. I was upset.
You were scared. You were terrified.
This
is when the whole COVID thing broke in the first place.
Yeah, when it broke. Yeah, and when the governments were telling us, I mean, our leader Go back. I'm not telling you a word of a lie. This is why I was so in fear. You go and watch his interview where he's breaking the news about this virus, right? And the rhetoric that he uses and talk. He put the fear of God into me. Me and Cheryl were sitting on the sofa. I was literally cuddling my wife. I was scared and I was angry. And yes, it came out the wrong way, but it's not what I meant. I did correct it, but here's the thing, Lee. I can't find that fucking video. I can't remember which one it is, but these...
Oh, it's so long ago now. That's the thing. These people take the clips out of context and they perpetuate. They keep putting it out. You put that stream out once. These people put these clips out and they keep passing it out and keep.
Did you say there's a new one, by the way? So you mean to tell me you're being targeted yet again? See, I don't watch the videos. They tried desperately enough when I was on my gaming channel to come in. Did you and Cheryl see me latest offering?
Yeah, I didn't tell you about it because I thought, what's the point? You know,
yeah, exactly, because I don't want to know. So as I said to that person on Twitter, listen, do as many videos as you want. I don't care. Clip as many of me fucking streams as you want. I don't care, right? You ain't going to harass me off this or bully me the way you think you're going to bully me. I don't care.
But I will say to the people who, you know, if the BBC are listening in, I will say, you know, it seems very selective to me that you will take something that's clearly been clipped out of context. You allow these assholes with no scruples at all to do this. These very same people have absolutely no fucking problems with either turning a blind eye to or tacitly or explicitly supporting trolling of Noel's wife with rape shaming, with other racist and homophobic slurs. That goes completely unnoticed. I wish the BBC would take as much interest in what these people are doing as much as they do with you, Noel, because they would be absolutely either shocked or there would be, just like them, lunatics going, oh, this is really good. Oh, yeah, smash the fash. It's
sure,
like,
recently I put up I put up most of the videos that I could find of all the abuse that I've received, and they're all in screenshot form.
Yeah, but they're not interested. They don't ever seem to see those videos. They don't ever seem to see those posts. They don't ever seem to see those. It's funny how the BBC only gets to see, oh, look, who's racist against the Chinese. It's really very, very interesting. It's almost as if that's all they want to see. Because you're critical of their organization, critical of the show, so therefore they'll only watch anything that's negative about you to validate their own bias and their own prejudice and their own bigotry. But they're not interested in actually trying to understand the nuance of the situation, not interested to hear about the Roblox trolls. They're not interested to hear about the rape shaming of your wife. They're not interested in anything that actually instigates a lot of all of these emotional reactions from you, which is exactly what they're trying to do. They push you to the point where you break, and then they go clip it and then disseminate it, and then that's all you're known for, and that's not okay. And if these grown-ass adults at the BBC can't see that, shame on them for being so fucking infantile, because they are too stupid or too ignorant or too up their own arse to see what's really going on in this world.
Yeah.
Frankly.
Well, look, we'll leave it there, but just stay tuned anyway, folks. And as I said, I'm going nowhere. I'll be here, still being the same old me. That will never change. Yeah, look, I'm just going to continue to do the things that we're enjoying right now. We've got Cobra Kai every Wednesday. Rick and Morty will be coming back next week. It was supposed to come back this week, but I'm going to be honest with you, Monday and Tuesday, I was just kind of like, I didn't want to stream because this shit was going on in the background and with other people as well. So I just wasn't in the humor. So I just turned to what I normally do, either watch a bit of Cobra Kai.
Don't let people have power over you.
I'm not, but it does. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say none of this gets me down. Of course it does. I'm only human. Like, these people think I'm a robot or something. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, the
they
5
really
years
do.
of stuff that I've taken, I should be really in a mental hospital right now. Let's be all honest about it. But no, any other person would have cracked by now, right? I've had a few wobbles, yes, but I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. So, as I said to that troll, you know, you can come into me gaming streams and tell me about your latest video about me. I'm not really interested. I won't be watching your videos. So, whoever you're doing the videos for, pander to that lot because I ain't interested. And that goes for every other little troll out there as well that's been trying to get me attention on Twitter. You're sad, pathetic. I'm not interested. You will be blocked either way. I don't care if you want to take that as a victory. Fair play to you. That's how sad and pathetic you actually are anyway. That if someone blocks you, that's a win or something.
Fork in Hell says Twitter is weaponized idiots.
Yeah.
It's giving
So
people the power
listen,
to try to
take
hound
your
others
W.
who have different opinions or disagree with it.
That's
Absolutely.
it. So you can take your W and you can do whatever you want with it, right? Because me, I don't give a flying ass what any of you do anymore, right? At the end of the day, right, I will still have my opinions and just won't change that. And you can try smear me name all you want, and you can try make fun of me because, you know, because I have been told about the videos, I just haven't watched them. But I have been told you've clipped the one where I was talking about the time there's children and you're making fun of me crying.
It's quite funny as well that the video where they clip your thing about China out of context, and then they go on and then mock your Irish accent by putting on a really bad Irish accent. It's like, well, hold on a minute, you can't just accuse someone of being racist and then go and do something like that.
I know, that's how
It's hypocrisy. And BBC, I'm sorry if you're watching this. Where's your fucking double standards? Oh, there it is. You know, it's like, can we just stop with this fucking inane bullshit and just realize that people are playing these stupid ass games? It's infantile as fuck. It needs to stop. Grow up, get a pair, move on.
That's
right?
it.
That's
it.
it's
Well
stupid.
said.
It's stupid.
Lee, apparently Marty has DM'd you.
Okay.
Go
Cool.
check it out. But yeah, Marty, everything is fine. Don't be worrying, pal. Jesus.
Right.
I'm
Anyway,
not
I've got to sod off as well.
Yeah, I'm going to sod off as well. But I want to thank Scott for joining us.
Guys,
this week. It's brilliant. We'll see you next week again, Scott. Hopefully, we'll have Melina on the panel as well.
Can't be on next week. I'm sorry, guys, but
okay.
If it's a Wednesday, I can't be on. I've got something on. But I'm sorry to hear about all this happening.
Oh no, it's grand, Scott.
I just wanted to talk about, you know, TV show that I like. Strange how people get so het up about these things.
We're
Anyway.
finding the BBC could put as much investment into Doctor Who as they do, as Netflix does with Cobra Kai. Maybe they'd learn something rather than sitting there and sanctimonious judgment over it.
We're gonna leave with something funny right now, right? So we'll leave on a funnier note. So I'm here talking to you guys, and while I was listening to you guys, Cheryl comes out with a handle from a pot, and she goes, "I broke the pot." but what she doesn't realize is that handle from that pot has been actually like that for the last 3 months. So she's coming out and saying she broke the pot feeling guilty, but she didn't break the pot. The pot has been broke for 3 months. I just put the handle back in. But she knows now because she's in the room here with me now. But you didn't break the pot.
This is why I'm not allowed to cook.
Yeah, that's why you're not allowed to cook. But yeah, she's doing her. But I didn't put the photograph up last night. But she had some tortillas with those refined beans, whatever you bleeding call them. Yeah, and then she put them on a tortilla. It looked like dog shit on a fucking. I'll show you later.
Will Gentry says the BBC might as well be called the DSC right now, the Double Standards Corporation. No, they should be called the BBC, all right, but it's the Bourgeois Broadcasting Corporation.
Yeah,
it's full of middle class snobbery. They turn their back on the working class, and they focus all their attention on dismissing the working class and then attacking the upper class because they can't look at themselves. And I'm afraid they've turned themselves into a parody. And this is how bourgeois they are. They come out with all this postmodernist communism, and then they're like, why doesn't everyone isn't as trendy and as wonderful as we are?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Right.
Stop. It's
I wanted to leave
embarrassing.
on a positive note, but
That
there you
was
go.
positive.
Lee had to have another little rant, but you
That
know
was positive.
but he's right. He's right though. But look,
You had a good few years to change. You chose not to. You made your
and now
bed.
and now they're gonna be forced to, which hopefully
I'll
happens.
just say, I need to go, guys, but I'll just say on a positive note to everybody, be
Go on.
kind.
That's it. That's what Peter Capaldi would say. So exactly, spot on. Scott, listen, it's been absolutely wonderful having you on. And if we don't see you next week, hopefully we'll see you the week after. But thanks for coming on. Really appreciate your input, and we will see you soon, pal.
No problem at all. Take care, guys, please.
You too.
Bye.
You too. And Lee, I will say good night to you as
Good
well.
night.
I'm ending now. Sure, I'm ending now. I'm gonna do the trailer now. But guys, thanks in the chat for listening. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed those 3 episodes of Cobra Kai. We do have a good buzz when we're watching, because it's just such a good show. So we'll see you next week for Cobra Kai Wednesdays. Cheryl came up with that one, so credit where credit is due there. Cobra Kai Wednesdays. So we'll see you then. Bye, folks. Good night. Stay safe. Look after yourselves.
Everyone. Bye-bye.
Good night, Lee, and be kind.